Welcome to Reaching Out. I'm Gregory Floyd, President Local 237. Today, our guest is Mr. Dennis Walcott, Deputy Mayor of the City of New York. Dennis, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. For those of us who are listening here this evening and watching on television, you've been the Deputy Mayor now for 8 years, correct?
I have. I started at the beginning of the mayor's administration, so January 1st, 2002, and it's been a fantastic ride and love every minute of it.
Great. And you are the Deputy Mayor for Education and Community Development.
Correct.
Tell us what that entails.
Well, part of my portfolio, part of my responsibilities include Department of Education, the City University of New York, Department of Youth and Community Development, and also the New York City Housing Authority, as well as adult education, and a lot of the grassroots relationships with community-based organizations, religious leaders. So a variety of different responsibilities. That's why every day is a new day, and it's something that's exciting and enjoyable.
There was a lot of talk about budget cuts in the education department. Can you tell us a little bit about the budget cuts, how that will or will not affect education?
Well, I mean, right now we don't know. I mean,
Yes.
The mayor has made education his priority since he's been in office. He's increased the overall budget in education roughly by $8 billion. And we've basically changed the percentage of the state-city portion of tax dollars going to education. Now it's more city tax levy than state tax levy dollars, and that's a good thing. But what the mayor has done over the last couple of years is taken a number of budget cuts to a number of agencies, and basically, while we have had cuts in education, tried to minimize those cuts in education. And what he proposed in his preliminary budget back in January was raises of 2 and 2 for the UFT and the supervisors and administrators, and with that type of projection on raises, basically held DOE harmless. But at the same time, we don't know what's going to happen, and that's from a city tax levy portion. But at the same time, we don't know what's going to happen with state cuts. And so we've been up in Albany working very hard. I was up in Albany last week. I was up in Albany 2 weeks ago meeting with a number of legislators around a variety of funding issues. And so we just don't know. But no matter how we look at it, based on the projections coming out of Albany, there will be cuts in education. And the ramifications of those cuts, we just don't know yet. So we're doing a number of types of analysis as far as taking a look at if it's, say, $250 million, if it's $500 million, if it's $750 million, what it will mean to the city. And then it would mean layoff of teachers and other personnel and potentially other cutbacks as well. So we just don't know what that number is, so therefore it's tough.
We really hope that we don't have any layoffs in the education field, especially
exactly.
teachers. Yes.
Yeah, but as you know, I mean, in the areas of cuts, one of the challenges is that in education and health, that's where the majority of the money is, and so we have to take a look at that. So hopefully we can preserve education as is. I mean, that's our goal, and that's our interest in making sure we don't have any cuts.
Now, just recently, and we're getting toward the end of the school year, what have you heard about violence? Because you and I have had many conversations about violence, and I believe crime is going down over the last few years.
They have. Yeah, unfortunately, I mean, that we've had a number of cases, and especially it's really interesting. I imagine your members have told you about this.
Yes.
A number of stabbings and people carrying knives. And
3 different stabbings, 3 different schools in one day.
And yeah, I know, it was like mind-boggling and really sad as well. And so numbers are still going down overall.
Yes.
I mean, public perception may be something totally different, but the reality is the numbers are still going down. Your members are doing a fantastic job. I mean, school safety officers, I think, don't get the attention that they should get as far as the work that they do, and they're not armed. And I know that's been one of your biggest positions as well. Not the arming of them, but making sure. No, I know that,
making
but
sure
making sure they have safe
yes.
and protection.
And protection.
And protection, invest, right. And so I think we've done a really good job in reducing the number of incidents overall, but you know, what happens is, unfortunately, what mirrors society. You have gang rivalries that sometimes get carried into the schools. Yes. You just have normal beefs and people trying to beat the system, and the school, unfortunately, is the byproduct of that.
We also represent the New York City Housing Authority. We represent school safety agents. We represent the Housing Authority. And we just want to change the topic just for a second.
Sure.
While we have a few more minutes and talk about the New York City Housing Authority. There was a significant achievement there that 21 NYCHA developments were just federalized.
Right.
And the city received $400 million for, I was saying, stimulus money for repairs of buildings, capital improvements, and also an extra $75 million a year going into the future for all of those developments.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
John Rhea has been doing an outstanding job with his team as far as taking a look at NYCHA and new ways to operate NYCHA. And I think, what he's been able to do with the federalization project and working with the mayor is identify potential new sources of funding and how we deal with the shortfalls that we still face from HUD around dollars available not just to NYCHA but to housing, and as the federal government deals with its own budget challenges, how we make sure that we protect the residents of NYCHA. And so through your members and others, we've been very creative in reaching out, and I think his team, John's team, has been really, really good as far as developing that type of outreach and also being very visionary in their work.
The mayor said to me, and I want to quote him because I thought it was an interesting comment. He said, "Greg, who would have thought that I would hire an investment banker for the chairman of NYCHA and everybody would like him?"
Right. No, that's been the case.
Yes.
I mean, he really made a very bold move, and that bold move has paid off, I think, in multiple ways.
How has the program suffered or going to suffer this year because of the budget cuts?
Well, based on the budget projections, the summer youth employment program was going to suffer significantly, and we're working very hard, and Jeannie has been working very hard to address that shortfall. So hopefully, while we may not be able to get up to the levels of last summer, a lot of that was based on the federal funding. We hope to get back up to a level where we were a couple of years ago.
Okay. Thank you. This has been Reaching Out. Gregory Floyd signing off. Our very special guest, Mr. Dennis Walcott, Deputy Mayor. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. It's been a pleasure.